Well, welcome back, my friends. It's time for Motivation Monday again with Lisa B. Now, I know that many of us have looked in the world before, and I know you've seen those people that look like they were living a great or phenomenal life, and perhaps you thought to yourself, wow, that's great, but how can that be the same for me? Friends, it can be the same for you, and I'm going to offer to you in this video a specific tip to show you how to get to the phenomenal life that you want to have. Now listen, the reason that we don't have the phenomenal life is because we have what I call mediocre, average, or settling type of thinking. That'll do, that's enough. And it has blocked us from moving to the phenomenal lifestyle that we can have. And that's the only thing that makes a difference between those people that are living the phenomenal life and the average or the settling people that are living that kind of life. As a man thinketh, so is he. So if your mindset is average, that's what your life looks like. So we want to shift by using what I call affirmations. Affirmations are those declarations that you make in your life, those things that you...
Lisa Blackmon, better known as Lisa B, is a proud mother, wife, and advocate of education, equity, and change. With more than 20 years of experience in the field of law, specializing in real estate and probate, she brings a vast amount of knowledge to each speaking platform or panel her presence graces. Her passion for seeing others establish generational wealth and increase self-confidence inspired her to further her professional development by the way of becoming a board-certified professional coach. Since, she has become a published author and launched the I Am a Life Changer movement. Her impact has successfully inspired thousands to discover purpose, create and implement plans of action, and have the courage to bring to the world the gifts within. Welcome to the platform, none other than Lisa B, the Life Changer.
Look, I'm happy to be with you all on today. For those that don't know who I am Lisa B, aka the Life Changer. Coach Mark has me listed there as what you call a fear elimination strategist. And true enough, I am a fear elimination strategist because I believe in using that tool called courage in order to eliminate that thing called fear that keeps us in that place called stuck, that just really prevents us from becoming who we are supposed to be. So listen, I just wanted to take a little time to share with you all and give you a little bit of my backstory. I am an attorney here in Birmingham, Alabama, where my area of expertise is in real estate. That means all things property. I'm also an investor. I teach about investing because I do believe in generational wealth. We don't want to get the information and then not share it with other people. So I do that here through our practice. And then here I am today serving in my purpose walk. My purpose walk is as the life changer. I believe that everybody, and I do mean everybody, is a life changer. And what that basically means is this: you have somebody that you're supposed to impact by doing what you're supposed to do in life. Now, one of the things that I also try to teach people about, again, is using that thing called courage. And so what I do is I train and I teach people to courageously pivot into purpose, own their worth, and love themselves authentically. Now I'm gonna do like the preacher does, and I'm gonna say it to you one more time. I teach them to courageously pivot into purpose. You see, I use that courage, right? To actually own their worth and then love themselves authentically, because I believe that having all those things in place help you again to become who you're supposed to be. So that's part of what I do. That is who I am. I am the life changer, and I'm hopeful that today, by the time we've wrapped up, that you have really had some information that's been given to you so you can create transformation, because I know that if we don't transform, that means that we don't change. So before I go any further, I want to stop and give a pause, give a shout out to Coach Mark. Y'all come on, give it up for Coach Mark for being a great host to us. He's really done a phenomenal job of putting this empowerment conference together. The important part that I really love about this is that it's about your mindset. I know that if you don't change your thinking, you won't change your life. And so Coach Mark has graciously put together this conference with phenomenal speakers and guests that have given us great information. And so as you listen to me and I give information to you as well, you might hear a little bit of repetition. And the reason being is that we're all talking about some kind of mindset shift. And I don't know if y'all remember when you guys were in school, when we used to learn spelling words. Now, I guess I just dated myself, but our teacher used to give us spelling words, and they would say one of the best ways to learn those spelling words was to write them over and over and over again. That's repetition. So you're going to hear some of the same things, so that when situations and circumstances come up in your life, those tips and tools that have been given to you on today, I believe they're going to automatically rise to the forefront, so that you can actually just put them in place and do what you need to do. So in having said that, I'm going to go ahead and make my segue into my actual topic on today. And I want to let you know, I got some notes here today, because I guess I kind of date myself again. I tell people, I say, I have to have notes now as I get a little bit older, because I want to make sure that I hit everything with you. So anyway, and having said that, today my topic is called Becoming the Change That You Desire. Now I want to pause right there and just kind of let that marinate. It's called Becoming the Change That You Desire. And for those that don't know, I am super interactive. If I say, is it you? I need you to raise your hand. Heart it up here on Facebook. Put a comment in there. If something actually resonates with you, I want you to say, yeah, that's me. That resonates with me. One of the things I know is also important in this whole conversation is that we have a level of transparency. And it takes courage to have that, because everybody didn't want to be out on Front Street, so to speak. Everybody, I should say this, most of us want everybody to think we got it all together. But listen, we're here to learn and we're here to grow. So I want you to make sure that you're interactive with me. Make sure you post, make sure you comment, heart it up, share it with other people, because somebody else needs to get this same information that you're going to be getting today. So we don't want to be selfish. Again, we are life changers, so we help to change other people's lives. Use the hashtag for the empowerment conference. Use that and continue to share with other people. So again, my topic today is becoming the change you desire. Again, marinating on that. Becoming is something that you're constantly doing. It's not a one-time thing. It's not a two-time thing. It's a consistent something that is happening, which means that you have to consistently be in action. Action doesn't always look like, I think Coach Mark was talking about earlier about running. It doesn't always look like you're actually physically running. Sometimes it's buying the tennis shoes, preparing for the run. Sometimes it's getting your little device that you need to time your run, but it's still staying in action. So becoming is an evolution. We all have to change. We all have to do something a little bit differently if we want to see something differently. Remember, this is about a mind thing. It's a mind thing. So as we are becoming, we have to shift the way that we're thinking. If the old way that we're thinking has not been working, if you're not getting the results that you said that you want, you got to start becoming the change that you want to see. I oftentimes tell my clients, listen, you are your own rescue. That's what we have to understand. People are not going to come and throw out the lifeline to us. We've got to learn how to swim for ourselves, because people love to see other people in action. People love to see somebody that's making progress and doing something for themselves. Those are the people they want to get on ship with. Those are the people that they want to push. Those are the people that they want to get off the sidelines and throw up the pom-poms and say, baby, you're doing that thing. But they want to see us in action. And then also we have to take personal responsibility for our future. We have to take that responsibility. I heard somebody talk earlier about, I think it was our previous speaker. He talked about, you have to really be the captain of your own soul. I want to encourage you today. Let's get from the back of the boat, come to the front of the boat and grab that steering wheel. Stop letting other people decide who you're going to become. Stop letting other people decide where you're going to go. Let me give you a good example, or I think it's a pretty good example. If you are working a job and you have not decided to apply for a promotion, if you've not decided to make a shift, then somebody else is making those decisions for you. You have got to become the change that you desire. We can't leave that in their hands. We can't leave our future in their hands. We have got to be the ones to say, you know what? I'm grabbing hold to this steering wheel. I'm going to guide this thing. I'm going to decide what my life needs to look like. Think about this. When you make change in your life, You impact everybody that you're attached to. You understand that? What would your life look like if all those dreams that you said that you had, you know, everything you wanted to be? I want to be a multimillionaire. I want to have my own company. I want to be an author. I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever your dream might be. What if all those things were manifested in your life right now? How would your life look? How would your family be living? Who are the people that you could bless or help if you were really in that place of having all those dreams fulfilled? Well, hold on, my sisters and my brothers. It's not too late. Right now, this is what this conference is about. It's about shifting your mind so that you will know that those things that you dreamed about before, oh yes, they are still possible. Now, I'm kind of country and old school, but I tell folks this: listen, as long as you got some breath in your body and some soundness of mind, you have an opportunity to become the change that you desire. Becoming. You can constantly evolve, even if you've had a stutter step, even if you've been stuck in some quicksand. Quicksand looks like those crazy situations and those bad circumstances, things that happen in life. You know, we've all had a story that we can share with somebody that was devastating, that was heartbreaking, that really put us in a space where we felt like we could not go on. But I want you to know you can recover from that. But it's about your mind changing. How bad do you want what you said you want in your life? How bad do you want to create generational wealth? How bad do you really want to be living a life of abundance? You got to make a decision. We have to make a decision. This is an opportunity for us to shift. It's an opportunity for us to change the way that we've been thinking, to pull off the old and put on the new. Have you ever seen those people, they got a new hairstyle and you didn't even really recognize them? That's what people need to do. You need to have a life that's almost barely unrecognizable because you have made a decision to become the change that you desire. What's in your heart? Those dreams are still possible. And I need you to really know that. So listen, I'm here really as a disruptor. If you're of the mindset that it can't happen, no, baby, I'm here to tell you it is possible. If you are of the mindset that, oh, not me, I'm here to say, yes, you. You know, many times I think that sometimes we get caught up on social media, and I don't have anything against social media. It's been a blessing to me, you know, being able to connect with different people in different states, in different countries, different continents. It's been a blessing to be able to see what other people are doing. But what I know is this: you and I cannot get so caught up in their highlights that we don't create our own. Oh yeah, that was good right there. Because for me, I can say I've gotten caught up in seeing, hey, they have so many followers. Hey, they just signed a book deal. They just got a new job. They did this and they did that. And I'm thinking to myself, why haven't I gotten to that place? And what I had to remind myself of is that I have to be the one that's steering the boat. If I've decided that everybody else is going to make the decisions for me, then I'm not taking control of my life. It's a mind thing. It really is a mind thing. And I know I began to think about Langston Hughes. I got excited, y'all. I got excited. So I'm bringing it down just a minute. I began to think about Langston Hughes in that poem that he wrote called Harlem. And he talks about dreams deferred. He said, what happens to a dream deferred? Does it just begin to stink like rotten meat? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? I said, wow, what has happened to my dreams and to my goals? And then I had to come to the decision that student loans are what are deferred, not my dreams. I hope y'all don't have any student loans, but if you do, that's what you defer. You can't defer your dream. Your dream is really wrapped up in who you're supposed to become in this world. I oftentimes tell people somebody is waiting on you to do what you do so they can do what they do. Think about it. When people open companies, they need foot soldiers, so to speak. They need CEOs. And so you are looking for getting a job. If you're looking to get a job, here's a company that's open. So you were waiting on them to open a job, open a job for you. And then you went on apply. That created income for you. You see how we're kind of interconnected? We are interconnected that way. So whatever it is that you have on the inside of you, somebody needs it. Somebody needs it. It's time for your highlight reel. It's time for your brilliance to come forward. But again, we got to go back to becoming the change that you desire. And so I want to really get into how we become the change that we desire. First of all, you need to understand this. You really got to want it. Now, I alluded to that earlier. You know how sometimes we say, let me talk about Lisa B. I want to release 10 pounds, and I'll say I want to do it by Christmas. If I said I want to do it by Christmas, but I keep on, oh, y'all see that candy jar behind me? If I keep on going to that candy jar behind me, I don't believe that that's going to happen. What is my true desire? If I truly have a desire for that thing, then my actions are going to line up. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So make sure that whatever it is that you truly desire to happen, that's what you really want for your life, because you can have it. Understand this. There is nothing that is impossible. I don't care how big it is. Maybe some of us, and I say us because we're in this thing together, maybe some of us are thinking too small. Maybe your dreams are too small. And what I do know is this: you need to dream big. If you thought you needed to be an author of 2 books, make it 10. Dream bigger. If you thought you needed to be a millionaire, begin to think about being a multimillionaire. If you thought you needed to open one company, think about having an offshoot of multiple companies from there. Let's think bigger. We limit ourselves because it's a mind thing. That's where we limit ourselves. So I like to really share this story, and I've shared it several times with people, but listen, it's one of my favorite stories, and I believe it's going to be relevant to this whole concept of becoming the change that you desire. So when I was a little girl, you know, summertime came, and we love summertime. I don't know about anybody love summertime. Love summertime. No school, you know, you play all day. Now they don't play all day now. I guess they're on the games and stuff all day now. You know, it's a different generation now, but we used to play outside all day. And when we used to do that, sometimes we got thirsty, and so we went out there to the water hose. The water hose was on the side of the house, for those that don't know. You know that green water hose that grandmama had? We drank that tap water, and we were just as happy. And then we would play these games. One of the games we used to play was called Punchinella. Punchinella, the whole concept of it was somebody would decide that they wanted other people to follow them. So it went like this. One person would say, we would gather, first of all, in a circle, and then the one person that was in the middle, and we would begin to say, look who's here, Punchinella, Punchinella, look who's here, Punchinella in the shoe. Y'all, anybody? Okay, maybe I've dated myself again. But the point is, we would say, what can you do, Punchinella, Punchinella? What can you do, Punchinella in the shoe? So the person that was in the middle, that was Punchinella. So they would begin to do stuff. Maybe they would throw their hands up to the left or to the right and do this and do that. The goal was everybody that was in the circle, they would turn around and say, we can do it too, Punchinella, Punchinella. We can do it too, Punchinella in the shoe. The point being is that they would go through these whole series of things. Everything began to go up and up and up. So meaning they would up level what they were doing. But everybody in the circle believed that they could do whatever Punchinella did, okay? So what I need you to understand is those things that you're seeing on social media, those things that you're seeing maybe in the workplace, in relationships, you can have that as well. There's nothing about Punchinella that makes him or her so special that they can have it and you can't. So understand that, first of all. So those are some of the games that we played, or one of the games that we played when I was a little girl. And then the other thing that happened at summertime was we went on vacation. So I'm gonna tell a story about the van. Stay in the van. So my parents had this white van, if you can imagine, back in the day, it's this big old bulky kind of van, and it seated about 7 of us. What was special about the van, and we thought we were just the bomb, is because the van had a refrigerator in it and had a little sink that was on top. Baby, you couldn't tell us we were the bomb. We were all of that because we had this specialized van. So when mama would say we were going to go on vacation, sometimes we did not know where we were going, but we knew we were going somewhere and we were excited about going somewhere. You know how it is, you start packing everything, you're laughing, you're joking. Man, it's an exciting time because like I said, you're out of school, you don't have all these other things pulling on you. So you're excited. And then the day comes when you're getting ready to go on vacation. Baby, you couldn't beat me getting into that van because I knew the van was going to carry us to our destination. So here it was, mom and dad in the front, then two captain's chairs with some of my siblings. Then on that back row, y'all know that very back row that sat behind the refrigerator and the sink, there was a seating for three. That's where the three youngest sat. And so we were excited about being back there with each other. You know, we're on the road, we pull out of the driveway and we get on the road and we're excited and we're talking and we're laughing and everything is wonderful, you know. And then you know how we do, we start cracking on each other because that's just what we do, you know, it's part of our culture, it's what we do. And then, you know, it's snack time, we might get a little snack, maybe you brought a book or something. And so, but after a while, when you're on the road, I don't know about you, but we would get tired. And then we start asking that age-old question. Are we there yet? You know how it is, you get a little impatient and you wonder, when are we gonna get there? And so my mama would turn around, she said, no, we're not there yet, but stay in the van. You understand what I'm saying? Stay in the van, because the van was the vehicle that was gonna take us to our vacation, i.e. our destination, i.e. your goals and your dreams. And so we're riding in the van, and eventually, because we kept asking, are we there yet? Mama and them would pull over. And I said, mama and them, I told you I'm Southern, right? Mama and them would pull over into the rest stop. Okay, everybody's trying to get out of the van at that point, because the main thing we wanted to do was, we wanted to stretch out. We wanted to raise our faces to that warm sun, breathe in the air. And then you know how those rest stations are set up. You try to make your way to that restroom, okay, to get that break. Then you want to go to that little vending machine so you can get your soda. And of course, the answer, mama said, no, baby, we got some water in that refrigerator, in the van, or in the cooler. You're not gonna buy anything, okay? So, but the point of the rest stop was to give us an opportunity to take a break from traveling. That's what the purpose of the rest stop was. And so while we're just enjoying ourselves, mama would eventually say, okay, it's time to get back in the van. We didn't want to get back in the van because, first of all, we had been riding for so long in that same position that we didn't want to go back to that. But we knew that if we wanted to get to our destination, we had to get back in that van. You understand what I'm saying to you? So as we began to travel again, one of the things that would happen was traffic would sometimes slow down, which meant there was going to be delays in getting to our goals. I'm talking about becoming the change that you desire, okay? What I need you to understand is that there is a process. That's the point that I'm trying to get to you. There's a process. You don't want to negate the process, because that can deter you from getting to your goal. So when we would slow up, we say, oh my gosh, we're never going to get there. And then traffic would eventually, you know, it began to pick up again. And then we start running into construction. Anybody ever ran into construction? Ran into construction. Sometimes with constructions, it calls for us to have a detour. When you have a detour, man, you off track completely. Then you're mad, you upset. The people that are in the car with you, you don't want to be bothered with them. Get off me, man, please. And we're all still riding along in this white van. We're irritated with one another, but we know that we've got to stay in that van in order to get to our destination. With that detour at times, we found ourselves on old country roads. Old country roads. And if anybody is from the South, you know that with those old country roads, sometimes there's not a lot of light out there. Like the 2-lane roads, not a lot of light out there. A lot of fields, maybe a house here and there, that kind of thing. And eventually darkness or night was set upon us. And so, you know, those same siblings that I didn't want to be bothered with, because night fell, my whole disposition changed. Nightfall sometimes brings this kind of fear. You know how that is sometimes? It's like, what's around the corner? We couldn't see the houses anymore. We could kind of see like shapes of things. We couldn't see clearly the lighting anymore because we were in a different space. And so, like I said, those same siblings that got on my nerves earlier, the same siblings that I started out on the journey with, I began to move in closer to them, and we began to lean into comforting one another and saying, oh, it's fine. Even if we didn't say anything too much, we all knew that we felt a little bit some kind of way of going, because we were going through uncharted territory. We were looking out the window or pressing our face up against the window in that white van trying to see. We were looking up, trying to look above the captain seats to see how far we could see afar, but we really couldn't see a whole lot because on those dark streets, all you really have is your headlights, 2 or 3 feet in front of you. But what we found is this: as the parents continued to drive, eventually we began to start seeing some lights. So it was either we would see the lights of the cities, or the great thing was we would roll into the morning. Night won't last always. We have to understand that there are seasons in this thing called life. So when the morning would come, we would all feel a sense of relief. We weren't piled or under each other anymore, okay? It was like, man, get off me now. I'm good, because I can see where I'm going again. But that nighttime, what that represents is those challenges when you can't really see the way, when you don't know what the next step is, but you decided to stay in the van anyway. We did not want a rest stop then, okay? Understand that. We didn't want mom and daddy to pull over then. We wanted them to continue to tunnel through that thing. And so, like I said, when that morning came, it represented in my mind, kind of in retrospect, that the season had changed. It represented in my mind, we're getting closer to our destination. And although in the morning, sometimes we weren't where we wanted to be, meaning the vacation destination, we still had to go through sometimes some more roadblocks. Sometimes we had to still go through some more construction. Maybe traffic got slowed up again. Maybe we had to go to another rest stop. But eventually the thing that occurred, as long as we stayed in the van, as long as we kept focused on moving forward, what happened was this: Mama would eventually turn around, kind of like the GPS, and say, listen, you have arrived at your destination. That is exactly what happened for us. And then we were excited about it, and we knew it was vacation time. Now, I gave you all that story about my childhood and the white van to let you know that it's important that you continue to stay on the journey. You have to become the change, because remember, I told you earlier, becoming, it's a verb. It's something that's constantly happening. If you are becoming the change that you desire, you have to stay on the journey. You have to stay in the van. The van is you. For those that really didn't get that analogy, I'm talking about a summertime thing. You are the van. You are the one that carries your hopes and your dreams. You are that person that's going to take you to the next level. Remember, I said to you earlier, you are not going to have to wait on somebody else to be your rescue. You are your own rescue. So you have to decide, what do I want to see in my life? You have to decide that even though I'm excited about starting this journey, whatever that might be, if it's starting a business, if it's being that person that says, you know what, I've decided that relationship that I was in, I'm going to cut it off. There's a newness that happens with that. That's a new season or a new chapter. And you might be really excited about that thing, but then you're also a little bit wary about it. Maybe you've been in that relationship so long that there's a level of dependency, and now you've got to turn the chapter or really create a new book. And it's going to take courage to do that. Listen, because we got in the van, it didn't mean that we knew exactly where we were going. Sometimes our parents didn't even tell us where we were going, okay? But we knew we were headed up north. We knew we were headed further down south. What I need you to understand is that it's important for you to get started on the journey. If you're going to become the change that you desire, then you have got to do something. Again, it starts with your mindset shift. So I told you earlier that you are the van. You are the one that carries your hopes and dreams. You got to stop deferring those things. Stop waiting on 2021 to come. Stop waiting on 2022 to come. It's time for you to start packing your stuff, getting excited about the journey that you're about to take. Pack it up, get in the van, and get moving. And you might say, well, Lisa, I don't have anybody to go with me. Understand this, like I said earlier, sometimes you have to be the one that begins walking by yourself. When you begin walking by yourself, what I believe is that somebody's going to see you walking and say, hey, let me see what I can do to help you on that journey. But you got to start the journey. If you are in a place now where you're going in a direction where you don't want to go, it's time to courageously pivot. The van, remember, I told you that we had some detours. Sometimes you have to detour and take a different route. Sometimes the state that you thought you were going to, you need to change that destination. Maybe you don't need to go to Florida. Maybe you need to go to Michigan. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Be courageous enough to do that. What courage looks like is that mental strength to move forward, to push forward in the face of adversity, in the face of darkness, in the face of the uncertainty, in the face of, I just don't know what's next. It's a mental strength. Remember, this whole concept, this whole conference is about your mind. So you've got to strengthen your courage muscle. I told you I talk about courageously pivoting. If you don't strengthen a muscle, it's like when you go to the gym. If you don't work out with it, baby, it's going to get weak. Even if you don't go to the gym, even if you're at the house, do some arm pulls, do some arm curls and things like that. Strengthen your muscles physically. We have to do the same thing with our mindset. How do we do that? I use affirmations. I love affirmations. Affirmations help us to remember who we can be and who we're aiming to be. So you got to strengthen your courage muscle. You need to change your circle. Now, I don't know about some of you all, but one of the things that I do know is this: your circle makes a difference. Somebody earlier talked about your net worth is equivalent to your network. Okay, so who's in your circle? Are there other courageous souls? Listen, we walk this thing together. I don't believe that anybody really is meant to walk alone. You might start the journey by yourself, but how many know two is better than one? Because if one falls down, there's somebody to pick you up. That is golden all day long. When you look down, even at the human race, I gave this analogy once before about as the world turns, as you look at the world, the world is all connected some kind of way or another. Our economies are connected. You know, our water sources are connected. Everything is connected. It's the same thing with relationships. It's the same thing with business ventures. It's the same thing with our health and wellness. We are connected, but who is in your circle? If your circle is not headed anywhere, if your circle does not have a true destination that leads to the change that you want to see in your life, you need to shift, and you have to be courageous to do that. Sometimes it's hard to cut off relationships that we've had a long time, but it's not necessary all the time to cut people off. Sometimes what we got to do is this right here. We just kind of back away. You understand what I'm saying? You don't share as much on an intimate level with those people, because those are not the people that are going where you're going. You have purpose. You got somewhere to go. You got somewhere to be. And you got to get in a hurry to do it. Stop deferring. Listen, yeah, some of y'all need to write the government and say, I'm going to start paying that bill. What that means, in essence, you got to tell yourself, I'm not deferring and delaying my dreams any longer. I'm not going to put myself on the back burner any longer. It's time for me to have some highlights. It's time for me to shift my life in such a way that it becomes unrecognizable to the world. And then it becomes like a dream to you, because when you see those things begin to manifest in your life, when you see the wealth begin to manifest in your life, the health, the relationships, you know, those books that you said you want to write. Listen, there's nothing special, like I said before, about Punchinella. Remember I told you about Punchinella? Everybody thought they could do it. Begin to believe that you can do anything again. I talked about one time, I said, when did you stop believing? I want to provoke you to begin to believe again in yourself. This is how we also become the change. You got to start believing again. Everything is possible. So I need you to understand that that's the way we have to do it. So I want to give you guys, as I begin to get ready to wrap up, I want to give you guys a couple of quick tips that I believe that will help you to become the change that you desire. Now, I want you to always remember the scenario or the analogy of the van, because the van, that's you, remember? Remember, you're going to have some obstacles. Remember, you're going to have some hard times. But remember, at the end of the day, you're going to get to where you need to go. As long as you stay in the van, as long as you continue to evolve and become who you're supposed to be. So the first thing you got to do, very simple tips. I know you probably heard them again, but here I am to repeat them in your ears once again. So the first thing again is you need to write your vision. I don't know anybody that can hit a target that's non-existent or one that's moving. It's moving in your mind. Put it on some paper. It reminds you of what you're supposed to do. Write your vision. Be clear on what it is, the change that you desire. What change do you desire to see in your life right now? What do you want your life to look like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now? If it's not you, what do you want your children's life to look like, or your children's children? Write the vision. The second thing, which is one of my favorites, is you have to have a burning desire. I alluded to it earlier. How bad do you want it? That's what the hip hop preacher would say. How bad do you want it? You got to really want that thing. If it's not something that really resonates with you, if it doesn't wake you up, if it's not something you're constantly thinking about, maybe you don't have a burning desire for that. Maybe you need to change your vision and be okay with that. There's nothing wrong with pivoting. Remember I said courageously pivoting into purpose? Maybe that really wasn't your purpose. Be okay with changing that thing. All right. So the third thing that you have to do, even in that process, number one, write the vision. Number two, make sure you have a burning desire. And number three, our speaker before now, he talked about military. I love to talk about military because I know military people believe in having a plan. They believe in having a strategy. You don't go into a warfare because this is a war, because you know you're going to have some detours. You know it's going to be some scary times, some uncertain times. This is a warfare. Things are going to come against you where you wonder if you can still make it through this process. So you got to have a plan. Stick to the plan. And when you write that plan, the next thing that you know, I like to use the same military thing, is boots on the ground. That means you got to get in action. You got to start walking that thing. Remember when we talked about the van, all the obstacles? When you think about physically, when you think about a physical terrain, you oftentimes think about mountains, you think about water. But the other things that also arise, rain comes, floods come, hurricanes, tsunamis. What I'm saying to you is that it's not always going to be easy. You're going to keep asking, am I there yet? Have we gotten there yet? But as long as you get back in the van, as long as you continue to push through, if you have to tunnel through the mountain, go around the mountain, go over the mountain, and sometimes speak to the mountain and tell it to be thou removed, as long as you do those things, you're going to stay in action. You're still becoming the change that you desire. So I want to encourage you on today to make sure you put those steps in action. Number one, again, write the vision. Number two, have a burning desire for it. Number three, have a plan or a strategy, okay? And then number four, get in action. Those tips and tools will help you to become who you're really supposed to be in this life. Listen, I am excited about who you are going to become in this world. I'm excited about your brilliance coming to the world. I'm excited about your highlights. I'm excited to see that highlight reel. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not so you can just post on social media. This is about making impact. Somebody needs to see that what you do is possible. Somebody needs to see that there's a way to make this thing happen. And perhaps you are that person to bring that to the forefront. So listen, again, I appreciate you guys. You know, I'm Lisa B. I am the life changer. I'm hopeful that I've said something to you today that has provoked you to think, so that I can promote you to change. So listen, guys, I also want to make sure that I give this offer to you. For those that want to stay connected with me, I wanted to just let you know that I do have my book, Courage to Pursue, A Guide to Greatness. And that is my offering to you all today. It is my first work, and it is about learning how to walk courageously in this world. Because again, like I told you, courage is the thing that's going to help you become who you're supposed to be. So if you'd like to get that book, Courage to Pursue, A Guide to Greatness, you can pick it up from Amazon. You can go to Walmart online. You can go to Barnes and Noble and you can pick it up. Or you can go to my website, lisabthelifechanger.com, and you can get my book there. For those that desire to purchase on today, through the rest of the day, for those that want to purchase, we're going to give you a special on that. If you want to get it, this is with shipping included, and of course it's going to be autographed by Lisa B, the Life Changer. You can get that for $20, which is going to be the book, and like I said, shipping included. If you want to do that, I'd love for you guys to either inbox me, or you can go ahead and you can send a Cash App if you want to do that as well. I Am a Life Changer is the Cash App for that. So I'm excited about that if you want to do that. Those that want to connect with me on a deeper level, I do offer one-on-one coaching. And so I'm excited about that. Again, helping you to courageously pivot into purpose, helping you to own your work, and helping you to love yourself authentically. And what that does is that relates to your business, that relates to your individual relationships, those that want to start a business, write a book, and things like that. We want to help you get your mindset right so that you can be that person that walks authentically, that brings your brilliance and your genius to the world. Somebody's waiting on you. They need your gifts and your talents. Come on and unwrap them. Again, I'm Lisa B, AKA the Life Changer. Thank you so much for your time. And again, I hope that you've gotten something from this. Coach Mott, thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate you.